and welcome to The Carpenter and His Cat. I'm Anthony, the carpenter. This is Robinson, my cat. So today I want to talk about planes and their functions and the basic ones you really need if you're starting up as a furniture restorer. So this is a number 7. It's what was commonly known as a shooting plane or a jack plane. Now these are perfect for any long lengths of timber you need to sort of straighten up. So if you've got, for argument's sake, a tabletop you want to rejoin, this is the perfect plane to do it. So the way these are constructed, they're different from other types of plane. I'll show you some others a little bit later that have a slightly different blade angle. But you've got your cap lock there. And then you've got two components here, basically the cap iron there and the blade. Now, when it comes to sharpening these, one thing is a no-no. You often see people thinking that this will actually act as a screwdriver, and it's not designed to, because basically if you use that as a screwdriver, you're going to sort of damage this edge here, and also if it's sort of plated or anything like that, you're probably likely to damage the plate. So I always have quite a large screwdriver. Again, one of these you might pick up from an antique shop for not that much money, because people don't really have much use for a screwdriver this size anymore. So I'll just put it on a bench hook. Quick turn, and the two come apart like that. Now this probably needs a bit of a sharpen, but we'll do that in another video. But as you can see, there's a beautifully polished back, and what you want to achieve is absolute perfection on the back of the blade. Because if you've got any kind of machine serration, you won't get a razor sharp edge on it. But we'll explain that later in another video. The number 4 Bailey plane is the bog standard, basically. It's a nice, fits in the hat really well into the hand, and it works so well. You know, your finger there. It's a really nice, sort of comfortable plane to use, and it's used for all sorts of general purpose planing. But it's the one you generally go for. The other thing is, if you look at the base of the plane, you want to try and get that as flat as possible. Now, one way to do that is to basically to get something like, if you've got like a cast iron machine bed, like a table saw or bandsaw in this workshop, that you know is absolutely perfectly flat. What you do is you get some sandpaper, a roll, and then you just clamp it at one end, and then you just sort of roll it over the bed, and then for hours on end you just sort of rub against the sandpaper and the bed of the machine. So you actually, although this comes out of the factory really well machined, it's not perfect, and that's a way to ensure. But what you must also do is, obviously you'd be tempted to sort of dismantle it, and you think, oh, I'll do that, I'll just sort of sand the bottom of it like that. But the disadvantage with that is, when it's not under tension, the base of the plane will slightly distort. So what you need to do is just wind the blade back, and then carry out the sanding. It's a laborious task, but it's worth it in the end. The next type of plane I want to talk about is the block plane. Now, I've got 2 sizes here, and you can see they're very low cut, low angle sort of blade. And unlike a plane, it's just a single blade, and it acts a bit more like a chisel. So this is ideal for sort of working on end grain and very fine work as well. This one's a bit more specialised. It's a shoulder plane. Now again, you can see it's just a single blade. It's rather like a chisel, really, set within obviously a housing, the frame, the actual plane itself. Now, this is what we call a shoulder plane. So this is for working on things like shoulders of tenons. They come in different sizes. I've got a smaller one than this, but I thought this would be a good illustration. Now, another little device I want to show you, which you can make yourself. And I got this from the book by the author Jim Kingshott, who has wrote a number of books, and he's wrote an excellent one on the workshop. Now, it's got every device you need in a workshop, how to set a workshop up. A lot of the things I've covered on these videos have basically been influenced by Jim Kingshott, sadly no longer with us. So it's just basically, this is a bit of a block of oak. It's from a 17th century newel post, just a scrap end. I didn't cut into one to get this. It was just, it's been lying around the workshop for some years now. But I thought I would preserve it to make it into a nice little tool like this. And it's an oil wick. And what we use it for, I'll show you in a minute. But it's used to lubricate the base of a plane. Now, you may have seen people using a bit of candle and rubbing it on the base of a plane, which is fine. But this is so much better. And all it is, drilled a hole in there, and an old little jam pot, pop that into there, and this is just a bit of jute, sort of Hessian sort of cloth. That's what upholsterers use when they're upholstering chairs. Just wrapped up very tight. And then this is filled full of linseed oil and set in there. And then it's just a simple method of just giving it a quick rub there. And that sort of eases it. Now, if I was, for argument's sake, going to join that board, I wouldn't use any kind of candle wax or linseed oil, because this is going to be a glue joint. And if you've got any traces of, candle wax or sort of linseed oil, the glue is not going to adhere to it. So you sort of heading for a problem. But anything else, any general planing, it's a good little device. So I think, come here. Robinson's here, so he'd like to thank you for watching the video, and I'd like to thank you as well. So if you enjoyed it, please press like, and if you want to see more, please hit subscribe. So for now, it's goodbye from Robinson, and it's goodbye from me, Anthony. Thanks for watching.